All right, we should be live streaming.
8.
And
All right. There we go. All right, I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Far West Texas Regional Public Defender Office Oversight Committee. It is Friday, May the 5th of 2023 at 2 o'clock. I will note for the record that we do have a quorum present. We do not have all of the members present, but we do have a quorum.
Judge, if I may, I'll
Everyone
call the names for the person who's helping take the minutes of who's here, if I may.
Go ahead.
Judge Roy Ferguson is present. Judge Joanna McKenzie, Judge Carlos Arias, Judge Curtis Evans, David Ortiz, Michelle Moore, Jeff Burkhart, and Judge Abels. Not present are Judge Dominguez, Megan Lavoie, and Judge Hoffman is on call. And also Judge Hennington and Judge Portillo from the Brewster and Presidio counties are not present right now.
And we also have present with us some non-voting members. We have Mr. Chambers, who is a representative of the Public Defender Office, and Mr. Ellers, who will, I suspect, soon be a member as well. So we are called to order. That is attendance. Our first item of business is approval of the March 27 minutes, which are included in your packet that has been circulated. Hope you've had a chance to review them. If so, I would entertain a motion if one is to be made.
So move to approve as presented.
I second
Yes.
the motion.
Has moved. Judge McKenzie with a second. Do we have any discussion or corrections to be made? Amendments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next, we have some changes to the board that just become necessary by virtue of the passage of time. We also have, first up, Jeff Burkhart, the Executive Director of the Texas Indigent Defense Commission, who is, unfortunately for us all, leaving us after being a dedicated supporter and friend of this board and of the office. I want to extend to you our gratitude for everything you've done, being a part of this process, almost from conception all the way through to today. You have our gratitude for your participation. If there's anything you want to say, we'll do that before I take a motion.
Sure. I just want to say thanks. It's been fun working alongside you all, and it's neat to see the progress that this office has made. We assess public defense systems all across the state, and whether you're looking at appointment rates or quality representation or just about any of the data collection, anything else, I think this office has improved public defense in the region greatly. So I just want to thank you for letting me be part of it.
Thank you, Jeff. Mr. McDermott?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Mr. Burkhart took the job that he is leaving almost exactly the same time that I took this job to come out here. And so we have grown in these jobs together and been consulting a lot. He's been a valued partner for me over the course of the last 5.5 years. I really appreciate the relationship, and I'm hoping that in his new positions and his new endeavors that we continue to be partners and things. I'm very excited for him and sad to see him go.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it. The feeling is very mutual.
I think we all join in those comments as well. So I believe it falls to me to nominate a replacement, and then I will ask the board to consent or oppose the replacement. The position is a permanent fixture on the board. And so Scott Ellers, who is the interim executive director of TIDC, who has joined us today, I believe would be the logical replacement for that position on the board. And I would nominate to the floor Mr. Ellers to be named a voting member of the board representing TIDC. Do we have any discussion? All right, hearing none, I will ask whether we have unanimous consent to affirm the chair's nomination. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Judge, I think I have to abstain given my great bias in favor of Mr. Ayers.
I think you do as well. Well, thank you, Mr. Burkhart. Once again, you are now no longer a lame duck member of this board. You are a former member of this board. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Mr. Ehlers, welcome. We're thrilled to have you. We've known you for many years and have admired your work from afar. So it's nice to have you here where you can give us your advice and your guidance face to face.
Thank you, Judge Ferguson. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for nominating me and having me. Looking forward to it. I've seen your office grow and just do great work over the years. So looking forward to being part of that continued excellence.
Thank you, Mr. Ehlers. Second up, we have the seat that is currently held by another judge outside of the district with criminal court jurisdiction, being filled by Judge Rob Hoffman. Judge Hoffman has, of course, attended our meetings and been a great service to the board. I have asked him if he would be willing to serve another term, and he has agreed to do so if that is the pleasure of the board. So as chair, I nominate Judge Hoffman to serve another term in that seat as laid out by the bylaws. I would ask for unanimous consent if such is the willingness of the board at this time. So I will call all in favor. Please say aye.
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 Opposed. Right, Judge Hoffman is hereby reappointed for another term in his seat on the board. Now, we do not have all of our county judges here today, and the budget process, really there's 4 people who cut those checks. Well, 5, I guess. TIDC cuts a big check as well. But with only 2 of our county judges here, I am reluctant to take up, discuss, and pass a budget in their absence. I'm open to being convinced otherwise, but under some recent circumstances and comments that have been made by non-members of this board, but by certain people who, when you improve a system, the people who are invested in and benefiting from the old ways tend to push back when those ways are fixed. And so we have some of that going on, and I think that's something we should discuss with the board as we work through the budgeting process. So it is my recommendation that we set a special meeting for next week, a short special meeting for the purpose of hearing the chief's report and taking up numbers 6, 7, and 8 on today's agenda.
Judge, may I address the board?
You may.
There was, I believe, a good effort on my part, Judge, to have all the members of the board present for this discussion. I think circumstances that I was not aware of prevented full representation of the county judges today, and I only became aware of that around 1 o'clock this afternoon. I recognize the time commitments that are involved from everybody who has come today, and I very much appreciate it. I don't want to let you know that I don't take that for granted. It is my responsibility, I think, as chief, to make sure that these meetings are prepared for, and that the decisions that need to be made can be made. And to the extent that I have any role in the inability to move forward today, I do apologize.
And you do not, Mr. McDermott. As Judge Evans will nod and confirm, this was sort of a last minute change of schedule that we weren't aware of. When Mr. McDermott found out, he immediately contacted me, and we started reaching out to some of you to see whether we would have a quorum. But not having Brewster County and Presidio County represented when they make up a large portion of the payment of the budget is something that I am just not comfortable with. In addition, I learned yesterday that there have been public false statements that have been made about the financial impact or savings of the board on the counties. I think having read the reports, all of us here know what the actual savings are. It's somewhere between 150,000 and $1 million a year, depending on what happens in each county. But there are people with personal agendas who are upset in part because the public defender office has 3 consecutive not guilty verdicts in a row from juries. And that has some people unhappy. To us, it's a signal that they're doing a good job. To them, it's a signal that they're not getting their way. And so these are numbers that I think we need to discuss. Mr. McDermott has put many of those numbers in your report. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it. Set aside some time. It is a book, but it is an incredible amount of information that he has gathered together, letting you know county by county what we're seeing. And he will, in his report, when he gives that to us next week, give us even more detail in response to some of the things that we've heard. But that is the part of the basis for my desire to ensure that everyone is here so that we can have a full and active discussion. If any of the judges have questions about things they have heard, of course, we will all be wanting to share in those questions and hear the answers from the department. So anyone else have a thought about that before I move on and talk scheduling?
I guess we could listen to the problems or the questions or the what the public has had to say at our next meeting.
Right, and I have not heard any complaints from the general public, only from law enforcement officials.
Oh,
in fact,
okay.
The general public who spoke up at the meeting spoke strongly and in favor, even though they're also involved. And Judge McKenzie, I don't want to remember wrong. I did listen to it, but there were members of the public who are tangentially involved and had nothing bad to say about the program. It's only incorrect or false statements that have been propagated by certain law enforcement officials. And specifically, I believe the other judges need to be here for that conversation.
Okay.
That's my feeling.
Judge,
I Yeah,
agree.
all of us need to be present.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like Judge Evans and Judge McKenzie both agree with that. Mr. McDermott, you had something to add?
I was just going to suggest, Judge, that because of posting requirements, that I believe that what you would be asking to do would be to not adjourn the meeting, but to recess until the next time.
Recess and reconvene.
That's right.
I'm happy to do that. I would certainly ask to do that when we get to the end of the meeting, so that if that is the decision of the board, then we can simply recess and reconvene. We have limited times available, and I know everyone in here has a schedule as bad or worse than mine. But one of the times that we found that seems to work for several people is 3 p.m. next Tuesday. That would be Tuesday the 9th.
Yes.
Yes.
Was that the only date? I have a pretty big meeting that I've been putting together for over a year. I don't know if I could make it. If it's, well, that would be 2:00 my time. I won't be able to, and I apologize, but I've got the AG's office coming out here. I can't put it off.
Okay. The only other time I found that worked without moving things around in y'all's counties is in the morning on the 10th.
I believe that Judge Evans told me earlier today that there was a conference that he was going to.
I can be out of it. I can zoom in from there.
Okay. You can duck out for a little while.
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
time?
Judge.
Normally we start at 9, but with you being in Hudspeth, I would normally start at 10 Central.
Earlier would be better because I have a flight at 11:30 a.m. So
Okay.
earlier is better.
All right. We can certainly start at 8:30 or 9 Central time. Does that work for everybody? Thumbs up from Judge Udias. Lots of nods.
I see
Yeah.
Judge Abels, Mr. Ortiz, Ms. Moore have both given a thumbs up. Judge Evans, yes. Judge McKenzie, was that a yes?
Let me just, I am so sorry to be the.
No, it is not your
I just
fault.
want to be
Judge.
realistic. So 8, because I've got that flight, which means I have to leave here.
That would be 7:30 your time, Judge.
7:30 a.m. Mountain Time.
It shouldn't be more than an hour or so, should it? Okay,
I would hope not,
okay.
but if you had to duck out at that point, you certainly could.
I will make it happen. I just, if it extends beyond a certain time, I would have to duck out early, but yes, I will make it
Right.
happen. Thank you for accommodating.
If that
Judge-
happened, you could also call in from your phone if you
Great.
had a signal on any part of the drive.
If you will allow that, then I'm in.
Absolutely. Once we've made the quorum, then you can participate however you wish.
Thank
Judge Hoffman, I think, is on the bench right now. I don't have a chat message from him saying that he has a conflict. Let me check one message here.
And we don't know about Judge Portillo or Judge Hennington.
Right. All right. I see no conflict here from him, so we will just send it to them. We're resetting this for them. I hope they will put in the effort to join us as well.
8:30 May 10th.
7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. Mountain, 8:30 a.m. Central. On the 10th of May, which is next Wednesday. Now, I do want to encourage everyone to read the reports that's in your PDF meeting book. Now, there's a lot of good information in there. And I think it would be good for all of us to have that as a foundational knowledge or understanding when we come back to keep the meeting short, as Judge McKenzie has suggested. All right, let me see if I have any. Do we have any members of the public who have shown up or signed up to address the board?
Judge, when I posted the agenda through the new county district clerk in Culberson County, I also posted a separate notice for how to log in for the public. That was confirmed for me by Ms. Urias that was posted and it was posted properly. I see nobody in the waiting room.
All right, thank you. Then we will move off of number 10. Quick scan of the agenda. That leaves us with numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8, which I would entertain a motion to recess our meeting and reconvene at 8:30 a.m. Central on May the 10th.
I so move.
A motion from Judge Evans. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Judge Radius. Any further discussion on that motion? We will stand in recess until 8:30 a.m. on May the 10th. Thank you, everyone. The meeting is in recess at this time. Judge Radius, did you have something you want to add?
I'd like to talk to you one-on-one though.
Okay. I will ask Mr. McDermott to open a breakout room and move Judge Radius and myself into the breakout room for a chat. Everyone else, great to see you. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank
See you
you.
Wednesday.
See you then.
I'm not sure I've ever seen what this looks like, so I'm excited to see the blue button that I always talk about appear on my
I am-
screen.
Should be
There it is.